Many people ask whether or not they should ring-fence their pension rather than spend it. And increasingly what we're seeing are people who are using their pension for legacy planning. The reason for this is predominantly because the pension now can fall outside of your estate for inheritance tax use. So what we're seeing is that people are using their pension for passing their wealth on in the event of death and using other assets to provide their retirement income. If you're looking at using your pension for legacy planning, it can be quite a good way of doing it, simply because a pension plan can now be passed on through the generations. So for example, if you wanted to leave your pension to your children, if they want to, they could in fact then skip a generation as well, so they could then be passed on to grandchildren. Another reason for considering whether or not to use a pension for legacy planning is that perhaps the pension is an easier asset to use for this, for accessing the value of it. Often people will leave their property as part of their passing on their legacy. However, with property, it needs to be sold or rented in order to access the value in it. And this is where a pension, I think, has a bit of an advantage. If you're thinking of using your pension for legacy planning, then it's definitely worth involving the beneficiaries in the conversation. The reason for this is that they may well have different views on how they want the pension investments to work. The reason for this is that they may even be thinking of a longer term, perhaps because any money that gets passed down might be skipping a generation. So it's worth having a conversation with all of the relevant parties involved. If you're bringing together the members of the family that are going to be involved with looking at the pension legacy, then it's worth speaking to a financial advisor. This is because these conversations could potentially be quite emotional or difficult,